Only 2 PBA pros have thrown not 1, but 2 perfect 300 games on network television, and one of them, the quiet Canadian, Francois Lavoie. Today, the 2-time U.S. Open champ continues his quest for yet another major title, as well as a $250,000 payday. Who will make that next step here in the Southwest Region Final of the PBA Players Championship? The PBA Players Championship continues today in Jupiter, Florida with the Southwest Regional Finals. Today's winner put in line for a $250,000 paycheck. 2 weeks ago, 381 bowlers fanned out across 5 regions to earn the right to get here. The top 5 in each region advancing to Bolero Jupiter. Win your region and you move on to next month's Players Championship show. The West top seed, Anthony Simonson, did just that last Sunday by ending the wonderful Cinderella run of one Chris Kelso. 9 straight strikes to close for Simonson, the number 1 seed in the West, moving on to the PBA Players Championship final field. Today, it is the Southwest region under the lights. And your seeds 2, 3, 4, and 5, all seeking to get in position for their first PBA Tour title. Rob Stone, the Hall of Famer Randy Peterson, back here with you as we continue the 3rd season of the PBA on Fox Sports. Let's talk about the biggest name on today's telecast, Francois Lavoie. I just love saying his name. The Canadian is a 4-time Tour titleist, but 50% of those titles have been big ones, like U.S. Open big. The first in 2016, the second in 2019. What happened in between those 2 U.S. Opens?
Yeah, it's a great question, and admittedly so. Francois admitted to us that he was having some success early, but he wanted to be that guy that won week in and week out. And so what did he do? He tried to become someone he's not. He tried to become a bona fide power player. Frankie Lavoie is a middle-of-the-road power guy, but he's a shot maker, and he relies on touch and accuracy. When he decided to go back to his roots, that's when he came back and won the 2019 U.S. Open. Comes back, shoots 300 in the 2020 playoffs. Francois Lavoie is back.
Yeah, be true to yourself. Jason Belmonte, 6-time and reigning Player of the Year, joining us throughout these PBA Player Championship shows. And Jason, you and I were just speaking moments ago about Francois, and you pulled a parallel out that completely put the brakes on me.
Yeah, g'day boys, g'day everyone at home. Look, the parallel that I was talking about was I compare Francois as a modern-day Norm Duke. And what I mean by that is he obviously has a lower rev rate, doesn't like to play the big curve like some of the guys can out here, but what he does incredibly well is have such amazing touch at the bottom of the swing. He uses what most would consider weaknesses to their games as his strengths, finding parts of the lane where the straighter is greater, and then he makes the shots count every time he throws the ball. Under TV lights, Francois is one of the toughest guys to beat because of that skill.
And he's coming in with some momentum. He told us that 2020 was probably his best season overall. Jason, more with you in the booth in just a moment. But we begin next with our 4 versus 5 matchup, which features a 23-year-old from Guadalajara, Mexico, Benji Martinez. A wonderful story, a story that goes way back with you. We'll get to that in a moment. But first, let's meet Benji, who's standing by with Kimberly Pressler.
Thanks, Rob. So, Benji, you told us in the pre-shows that you and your family used to watch the PBA television shows all the time, like you never missed one. But your family is back in Mexico right now watching you make your national debut as a pro. What does this moment mean to you?
I mean, we always loved PBA. I always was a PBA fan, and I always loved bowling. So, like, right now being here, it's just a dream come true. And I mean, I knew this moment was going to happen, but I didn't thought it was going to be so fast. So I'm just very excited, and I'm just going to try to enjoy the moment.
Well, when you made the show, you told us that the first call you made was to your dad. Why was that?
Yeah, because, I mean, we've been through this journey together, and finally seeing, like, this come true, and, I mean, it's just not my success, it's our success of my family.
Oh, that's wonderful. Good luck to you today.
Thank you.
All right, right, here's a look at today's step ladder. We start with A.J. Chapman taking on Benji. Keven Williams. Cannot wait to hear more from him in match number 2. Packy Hanrahan, maybe my new favorite bowler, probably because I just like saying Packy Hanrahan, is your 2 seed. Francois Lavoie waiting in the wings as your 1 seed.
A 3-time member of Team USA with 2 PBA regional titles, making his 3rd career TV appearance, A.J. Chapman.
AJ's top finish last season, 19th in the TOC, a 3-time member of Team USA back in 15, 16, and 17. Strike hard, strike first.
Making his national television debut, the 2020 NAIA Player of the Year, Benjamin Martinez.
Family watching back home in Guadalajara. Bowled collegiately here in the States, in Georgia. Push. Got the push, got the strike.
Yeah, quite contrasting styles here between the two of them. A.J. Chapman, high backswing, lots of revs, and Mr. Martinez here, not quite the RPMs as his competitor, but still a great opening shot. Again, it's just his first TV show. You want to get that first strike out of the bag really quickly to loosen up. And right now, the double. If he gets this one, we could be in for a really nice game here.
Here's a guy who just got his PBA card, Chase. This is his first event as a pro. And what does he do? Makes a TV show.
1 for 1. How's that record?
How about 2 for 2?
A lot of follow-through in that game. You know, it's kind of the opposite of, say, Stu Williams, who has very little follow-through. And we really don't see that big follow-through anymore, especially with the power players. They have a little more of an abbreviated follow-through, but it works real nice for Benji Martinez.
Yeah, I really like the ball roll that he has.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's soft at the bottom, but it's still a really heavy roll. It's impressive to watch.
A.J. Chapman, 5th year as a pro on the tour, and he opens with a double. Take a look at today's oil pattern.
Yeah, it's going to be very similar than what we saw last week, where the right-handers on all that power are going to be starting inside a 3rd arrow and just kind of chasing that oil on left. The difference with this week, though, is you're going to see the power lefties using reactive resonance, so their lines are going to cross right there at that intersection. Look for Francois to go much straighter right of the other 2 right-handers.
A.J., a former All-American at Wichita State. More on that a little bit later.
Throwing a phase 2. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I actually think that's an Axiom Pearl.
Axiom Pearl, you're right.
But it does look good.
Yeah.
That pearlized cover on that ball is, in today's oil pattern and how the lights are affecting it. AJ's looking to get a little bit more length out of the ball before it starts to make that curve, and that's why he's using a pearlized cover stock.
Here's Martinez, the 4 seed in the Southwest region. Harry. Benji starts with a stand-up triple. Great start from both of these young men.
That was a little dirty there. Nice little pin action coming across, taking that 10 out late. There's that release and that roll that Belmonte likes. And watch this action. The head pin hit something else and shot it, kind of slingshotted it across the lane there.
Yeah, he liked it. I liked it. Keeps the match all even after 3. And you don't want to be shooting a 10-pin ever. And when it's your first show, you really don't want to be shooting 10 pins. So that's a very fortunate break for him.
Early ham bones always make me happy.
He had an early ham bone last week.
The world is a better place with more ham bones.
You know, this is always a good sign when you're a right-hander and the 6-pin goes to the sidewall and slaps the 10 silly, and that's exactly what happened with Benji there.
One of the advantages of playing the lanes just a little bit straighter like that is if Martinez gets the ball inside a break point, he has a really good chance to get that messenger to come across. AJ been a little further left. The ball gets behind the head pin. We may see the messenger in front of the 10 pin.
How about that break?
Come on. Yeah, 410. Ouch.
Ball drifts just a little bit high, and I think he should have just left the 4-pin. I think AJ feels the same way.
Completed only 4.5% of the time on the tour. Ooh, not a bad effort.
That's close.
But it's an open frame.
Said last year he went through some changes and slowed his first 2 steps down, working more on getting his hand to the inside part of the ball.
Yeah, he said what Randy always says, getting further underneath the ball.
Getting more underneath it.
That's good. Somebody's listening to you, Randy.
I'm glad AJ's listening to me. Look how it's paid off.
There we go, back on the strike train for Chapman.
Do you know what most impresses me about AJ is for the amount of revolutions that he puts on the bowling ball and how powerful he is, that balance, every single shot looks exactly the same like that at the balanced position. He very rarely falls off his shot, which gives him a much better chance at repetition having such great balance. And I think that's a testament to the hard work throughout his entire career that he's put into making sure that balance is perfect.
Martinez drops a Yahtzee. He's perfect through 5.
Yeah, I was going to say, speaking of perfect, Benji Martinez from Guadalajara. Did I ever tell you the story about Benji Martinez and myself?
Does it involve Andres Gomez?
It does.
Go on.
No, I'm going to save it and
Oh, you are?
tell it to you when we come back from our first break.
Well, you got time right now.
Yeah, but I think I'm just going to wait.
Carry on.
I mean, I know I teased it early, but...
Big exhale. He's been a member of the Mexican youth national team since 2014. Bowled collegiately here in the States at Savannah College of Art and Design, SCAD. School you're familiar with, Randy?
Yep.
What a start. Opening 6-pack cracked open by Benji Martinez. And when we return, we're going to tell you the tie that bonds 3 of today's finalists. The story will shock you, Randy. Shock you.
Can't wait.
On FS1 is sponsored by Guaranteed Rate. Mortgage rates are historically low. Save money at rate.com today. Belmo, where did you park your boat? I couldn't see. I couldn't see Randy's dinghy in that shot.
It was the big one.
The big one.
Yeah.
Take a look at how the Southwest region shaped up. It was contested in Garland, Texas. Players from Mexico and then U.S. residents of Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi eligible. See, Kyle Sherman just missed the show by 63 pins. Our good friend Stu Williams came in 14th. Chris Barnes in 21st. This is A.J. Chapman, way wide right.
Yeah, once you get the ball just to the right of, say, the 7th board down lane, there's a lot of slickness, a lot of oil in that part of the lane, as you can see right there.
Very makeable cleanup here. The 1-2-4, he does.
That was close to chopping that one.
Come on, AJ.
That's spare. Brought to you by Guaranteed Rate. Mortgage rates are historically low. Save money at rate.com today.
You can see that he tried to save that one at the bottom of the swing to get it to the left side of the head pin and try to cover it 1, 2, 4. Instead, it ended up on the right side. I think it was very fortunate not to chop that.
Open frame in the 4th, spare in the 6th, strike in the 7th.
Much better.
Yeah, that 6th frame is the one you look back at the end of the game and say to yourself, those are the errors I have to reduce from my game. And AJ, he's one of the players when on song is incredible to watch. However, he does have or does possess those errors where he can just miss the head pin like that. And once he gets that out of his game, he'll be a top 10 player.
Martinez chasing 300. He's now perfect through 7. Translation, Randy?
He said, come on, let's go.
Thanks. I love it.
Wait, are you doubting me?
No, because all I heard was vamos. That's literally like the only Spanish
Vamos.
word I know. Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Oh, boy.
Oy, porfa.
A little too much juice on that one.
That time he said, oh, please.
The bilingual Randy Peterson is my favorite Randy Peterson.
Well, that now makes the game a little bit more interesting, doesn't it?
Sure does.
Just licked that a little bit to the right, and with the lower rev rate playing where he's playing, a little harder for him to come back.
And a lot of it is learning to contain your energy and your motion. First time under the lights. A wonderful start and an amazing pickup there.
Randy, Rob, I don't know what I'm watching here. Last week we saw Chris, first time on television, just strike forever. This week we're watching not just someone who's been on TV for the first time, but someone bowling their first professional event, and he's looking like a veteran.
He just got his PBA card.
Making splits, throwing 7s in a row. It's impressive to watch.
Strike there again for Chapman. And there is a theme to today's show, and A.J. Chapman is part of it. A.J. Chapman, Packy Hanrahan, Francois Lavoie. What do they all have in common, Randy?
They all were on the same national championship team at Wichita State.
That's right, 2015.
Let me see if I can find them. Oh, there's Francois Lavoie.
Yeah.
There's A.J.
Yeah.
And there's Packy. I do think Jason is right about Chapman, though. He's got a beautiful game, and he needs to eliminate those 1 or 2 bad shots in a one-game match. You just don't get away with it. We've seen it time and time again. And I think once AJ figures that part out, he's going to be a champion on the PBA Tour.
Yeah, and what those 2 strikes there is going to at least make Benji think about what might happen here.
Off the spare, back on the strike train.
Clutch. Absolutely clutch. Repetition right there, as we see on the Kegel Specto, just drawing lines over the same line.
His
Shot after
8th
shot.
strike of this match.
Any mark in the 10th frame, he'll win this game and move on.
We saw it last week, the 5 seed making a big run. Perhaps we're being teased with it today again. Chapman in trouble. Martinez ready to shut him out.
That's pretty good right there.
Sure is. Bang. Shutout achieved.
Take a look at that follow through I talked about here for Benji Rodriguez. Excuse me, Martinez. Yeah, and that was winner, winner, chicken dinner, that shot there. So getting back to the Benji story, back in 2013, myself and Andres Gomez were doing an exhibition in Guadalajara, and that's where we met Benji for the first time.
Do you remember the name of the bowling center?
Illusion Lanes, and it was a beautiful, spectacular place, brand new. I remember we sat down at dinner, and it was just a spectacular Mexican feast, and then they brought my food, and it was a Happy Meal from McDonald's. And that was the joke that they played on me. It was awesome. Great first opening game for Martinez.
Sure is, huh? Benji gets the win with a 2.76. Keven Williams is your 3 seed. You are going to see and hear from him. That's a tease right there. Hear from him.
PBA bowling, where every player has game, and we bring a new meaning to staying in your own lane. Now, unlike other sports, we plan to strike out. You could hook it, play straight, but don't imitate my route. With Kimberly reporting, Randy, Rob Stone, we love his famous phrase when he's yelling, "Ham bone!" You see, the quest for the greatest to do it has begun, and you can catch it on your favorite channel, FS1.
Bill O'Neill wins the 2020 PBA Players Championship. Chris Prather wins the TOC. Jason Belmonte wins the 2020 PBA World Championship.
Celebrate! Finally, a major heads to Jacob Buttress camp. He is your U.S. Open champion. The PBA Players Championship wraps up February 21st live on Fox. That's the first of 5 majors coming your way on Fox and FS1. The TOC here in Jupiter as well. The World Championship in Tampa. And then Reno, Nevada hosting both the USBC Masters and the U.S. Open. And then it's the Super Slam April 18th on Fox. All 5 of those major winners competing in the PBA Super Slam. Take a look at our updated ladder here from the Southwest region. Your 4 seed, Benji Martinez, a 276, 245 win. Benji had the front 7, 10 total strikes in the victory. Up next for him, your 3 seed, Keven Williams, who's got a bit of a musical background, as you heard going to break in the last segment. Kimberly Pressler standing by with the man who created this video, which looks like a weekend I wish I could have. Eating pizza in a pool, beautiful people, food and beverages. You go, Keven.
Well, Rob, I'm sure that you recall that we've had some pretty big rappers on the show who absolutely love the bowl. We've had Lil Wayne, Nelly, Flavor Flav, and now we have Keven Williams. So, Keven, how is it that you manage to balance your 2 professions?
It's pretty easy for me because this is my job, bowling. You know, I'm trying to pay the bills when I come out here. This is my profession. And music is just a love. I do it for fun. I don't care if I blow up off it. I just have a blast making it in the process of it. So it's pretty easy.
Well, you're balancing pretty good today because I hear something's dropping this afternoon.
Yes, I actually have a single dropping today. It dropped actually at midnight. It's called Dream With Me. You can find it on all music platforms. Just search my name, Keven, Keven Williams, and you'll be able to listen to what I got.
All right, well, we wish you the best of luck today.
Thank you.
Keven taking his moment in front of the TV lens and going full cell mode. Impressive. I really like the video, by the way. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, I gotta be honest. I'm a little disappointed that you and I weren't invited to the pool party.
We totally did not get the invite on that one. Actually, that's probably pretty good booking on Kevin's part. Let's talk about how this night, this day here in Jupiter, is almost a bit of deja vu all over again from last weekend.
It really is. I mean, think about it. Beats that lefty and takes on another lefty. Well, that's shaping up the exact same way here. We have Benji going up against Keven Williams, a 2-handed left-hander. And if he were to get past Keven, his next opponent, a 2-handed left-hander. And if he were to get past Keven, his next opponent is another 2-handed left-hander in Packy Hanrahan. So a little deja vu.
Yep, let's bring Jason Belmonte into this conversation. And we've got our first lefty today, and that is going to change things dramatically, Belmo.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I'm going to be noticing is that Benji has bowled a game. He's also bowled against another right-hander, so we've got 2 games of transition that are on the lanes. Kevin's coming in as the first lefty, so he's going to be seeing a very fresh oil pattern. Normally, I would say to somebody that after they've bowled 1 game on television, they'll loosen up a little bit. With Benji, I don't think you can be too much looser than 276. So it should be a really good match. Hopefully, Keven sees the lane the way that Benji saw it in the first match, and we should be up for a really good match.
It was a loose, it was a confident 276. for Benji. Well, coming up next, Williams puts his song book away and opens up his bowling bag of emotions. The quest to win the PBA Players Championship rolls on next.
My God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Why you
PBA Players Championship Southwest Finals from Jupiter, Florida rolls on. Glad you're with us today. Rob Stone, the Hall of Famer Randy Peterson, the soon-to-be Hall of Famer Jason Belmonte, Kimberly Pressler joining us as well. We continue match number 2. We get ready for match number 2. Keven Williams taking on Benji Martinez.
He qualified and finished third at the 2018 Go Bowling PBA 60th Anniversary Classic in Indianapolis. Keven Williams.
Well, we heard from Keven. His music is strong. His video making is superb.
Yeah.
Now let's see what the bowling's all about.
Yeah, can I just tell you that anybody that eats pizza in a pool is like a hero of mine.
Just turned 28 years old, native of Springfield, Missouri. High rev guy, two-hander. Left the 7 to start.
That was a pretty fast 7-pin. Very unique style. The two-hander that doesn't use his thumb, but he gets real sideways going to the foul line, and then he has to kind of straighten that body up. Watch how sideways he gets, and then tries to get that left shoulder a little bit more square to the foul line, but it's not lacking any power.
Belmo, I know you give countless instructions to young, up-and-coming two-handed bowlers. What are some of the first little points that you tell them they must nail to be effective bowling that way?
I think the misconception of two-handed bowling is that we try to put all two-handers in one category, but very similar to traditional players. You can get to the line a whole bunch of different ways. I mean, Anthony, myself, Carl Troop, Chris Vi, Keven, we all get there differently. So the idea is to find the fundamentals of the game of bowling and enhance those. And I always suggest to young and upcoming kids that the one thing I highly advise is don't try to overthrow it. The style will increase your rev rate and give you the power that you want. It's the accuracy. No point having 550 RPM if it's going all over the place. So wind it back a little bit, smooth out some of the rough edges in your game, and just become very good at repeating.
Well, you heard him say push, and that's when just about every player out here gets the ball a little inside a target, or the ball hooks a little bit early and they know it's going to go high, and that's exactly what happened here with Benji. We saw that last week on the left lane, where the left lane, the front part, started to dry up a little bit more, a little bit quicker than the right lane.
Benji takes care of the 4-pin. Really interesting story on how he came to America. As we mentioned, he'd been bowling with the Mexican youth national team since 2014. He caught the eye of Katie Thornton, who was just starting the bowling program at Savannah College of Art and Design, SCAD as it's known. So he bowled there the first year of their program, studied advertising, just graduated. 2019, he won the NAIA National Championship for the Savannah Bees. That's their nickname, the Bees. And I love it when wise, intelligent coaches are able to look beyond borders to find great talent. Williams liked that one. So Keven gets his first strike. And Belmo, you said he had a little beef with Keven. It's not how he spells Keven with an E, is it?
No.
You're able to look over that. Okay.
No, I've come to find in America that names are spelled very differently anyway. No, I posted a little while ago, I posted an Instagram video where I was doing some training back home, but I was training on a basketball court. And I shot 8 or 9 threes in a row. And in my DMs pops Keven Williams throwing all the shade in the world, challenging me to a three-point contest. So at some point this season, Kev, close. Let's swap the basketball over from the bowling ball, and let's get this done.
We've got an Instagram beef. I love it. All kinds of shade for missing one triple.
Yeah, look, it was
Right?
like 8 or 9 out of 10.
It's pretty good.
I was really happy with my shooting. And Keven came in doing all his dribbling in his video reply, throwing shade. I'm like, all right, let's do this.
Williams in the third takes care of the 7-pin, so it has been spare, strike, spare for Keven, for the artist known as Keven.
Now, one thing that I hope goes on in Kevin's mind right now is he's rung a 10 in the first frame, rung a 7 in the first frame, left a flat 7 in the third frame. It's very important that when he gets up in the fourth, he's not thinking about those two shots, that lane. He's got to make a shot on the right lane.
Martinez, the 4 seed. Gets them all to fall. Not far from us, Daytona, Florida. New tracks, new teams, and a new champ. The 2021 NASCAR season starts in just 2 weeks with the Great American Race, the Daytona 500. Live coverage February 14th, only on Fox.
Benji Martinez perfect on the right lane, 7 for 7. See if he can double up and take an early lead here in match number 2.
So first double for Benji.
It's going to be a little interesting, Randy, on that left lane for Benji in particular, as he gets forced further and further left, how his carry percentage, that one there, he moved only a couple of boards further left with his feet, but the ball went very light compared to the first game that we saw him throw. So he's going to have to make some quality shots, in particular on that left lane.
Yeah, that ball labored just a little bit. He's trying to move away from the hooking part of the front end.
So Keven still with just 1 strike here.
Just like last week, we saw the lefties struggle on this pair. Buttroff only managing 213 and Wesley Lowe 226. They just weren't able to get to the pocket on both lanes consistently.
Takes care of the 6.
Still plenty of time. I mean, we're talking about the fourth frame here. He doesn't look comfortable. He doesn't look comfortable in ball reaction. It doesn't really look comfortable in what he's supposed to do. So as soon as he sees his ball do the right thing just a couple of times, Keven is a confidence player. He sees that, here comes the strikes.
Leaves the 7 here. He told us he really didn't take bowling seriously until post-high school. Bowled on the side, made a little cash here and there.
Wow. How do they get this tight, this quick down there?
Yeah, welcome to bowling with the big boys.
Yeah, it's kind of it's kind of an anomaly. You're trying to figure out what am I supposed to do? It looks like there's a ball change. It's just flat 7 after flat 7. He aces. Yeah, I think I heard keys or something.
Yeah, it almost sounded like a keychain.
Yeah, it sounded like a keychain. So, he's basically doing all these calculations in his head, trying to figure out how to get the 7-pin out. And it's just week 7 after week 7 on the left lane. And then you hear him say, well, I can't believe they got this tight. So typically, what do? Well, you go to something stronger. You slow your ball speed down. He needs to figure it out and figure it out quick.
Yeah, if I were to send a message down to Keven, I think it's to go back to your strength here. I think it's to move a little further left, pick your speed up a little bit, go to a ball that you feel really comfortable throwing, and keep your ankles tighter.
His 4th 9 spare through 5 frames. You see him shaking his head. So Martinez has gotten in his head with 3 strikes through his first 4 frames.
Here we go.
Now, both these guys, Jace, feel like they're starting to has some issues trying to figure things out here.
Well, I think Benji's just seeing the lanes just change just a fraction, and that's causing the ball to go down the lane and hit the pocket in a different entry angle. He doesn't have the hand and rotation to get those off hits. So whatever his next move is, and I don't know enough about Benji's game to know what he's capable of doing, but whatever it is, he has to get that ball's entry angle back to where it was.
Rob, if you look at the surface of Benji's bowling ball, you can see it's very dull. And so as opposed to the shiny surface that A.J. Chapman used in Game 1, so the duller that surface, the earlier that ball is going to see the oil pattern as soon as it hits the lane. And the earlier it reads, the less it's going to curve down lane. The question is, how long is he going to stay in that big ball, in that dull surface? It's okay for now, and he's not being pushed.
Worked well there in the 6th. Martinez on top. So Williams and Martinez, who will make it to the semifinals of the Southwest region? We wrap up our second match of 4 next. Millions of kids nationwide are without their normal access to sports and play due to COVID-19. That's why Fox Sports and Good Sports are restoring play for kids and the programs that serve them through donations of brand new sports equipment. We urge you to text PLAY, P-L-A-Y, to the number on your screen to help keep kids in the game.
I'm doing that right now.
Go for it, bud.
Another ball change for Keven Williams here in the 6th.
What is that, Randy, now 3?
That's his 3rd ball in six frames.
That seems like a high amount.
It is.
Good shot.
Work there.
Well, he went the complete opposite to the suggestion that I made. He went further right. He's now using a bowling ball that creates more angle. So he's trying to get that 7-pin out. He's trying to see a little bit more movement down lane. And instead of controlling the lane front to back, he's now controlling it left to right.
Well, you heard him say, I can't believe how tight they got. He went to a ball that really curves and moved in and moved a little bit right and just got all over it.
But he's on that left lane now, which has given him some issues.
See it?
Not there. Oh, kicked out that 7.
Well, you heard him say,
Good shot.
Is it going to see it? And that, what he meant by that was, is it going to see the friction and curve off of that spot? And it's exactly what the ball did. And then snaps the 7 out. The first time he's gotten the 7 out in anything other than a flush hit this entire game.
And he takes a seat off his first pair of strikes. Let's see how Benji Martinez reacts. Benji's gone strike, 9 spare, strike, strike, 9 spare, strike. Here he is in the 7th. And that's back-to-back jacks.
Huge break, Jason.
Benji's running into a little issue here on that right lane. The last ball, ring 10s from what he would have thought was a really good shot. That ball reaches the friction a little earlier, which I think was his game plan. He wanted to see a little bit more entry angle, but it bounced off it a little harder than he was expecting. Got fortunate with the trip 4-pin. Makes a good shot here. I'd be really interested to see what his move is on that right lane next.
Get down, 10-pin.
Well, that was a little bit deeper than the last shot, and that was like 9.5. That was a pretty nice shot, but he just doesn't get the 10 to kick out of there, and this match is getting real interesting.
Sure is. So 3rd 9 spare for Martinez. He has 2 pairs of strikes. Williams is up next, and he can max out at a 248.
Yeah, he takes it off the sheet. He shuts out Benji Martinez.
Keven, the 3 seed. You see the issues, 3, 4, and 5. The 9 spares he collected, and then sorted things out. He's made numerous ball changes already. Here he is to close out the 8th. Three-bagger. He's dialed in right now.
Good ball change. Pretty good ball change.
Ball speed and the rev rate right at 20 miles an hour and over 500. And that ball's getting down there and going through the 1-2 pocket with bad intentions.
Listen, you've got to give the kid credit. He noticed the tightness of the lanes down lane, completely changed ball again for a third time, and now has thrown the last 3 absolutely perfect.
What's the most ball changes you remember ever making in a match recently?
On television or
Yes,
just in
television?
Yeah, I think I probably maxed out at 3, 4 maybe, the most I've ever done.
You too, Randy?
I can tell you I didn't win the game.
I want to hear it, Rob. I want to hear it. I don't got to throw
Come on, Kevin, I got you, kid.
Good ball change.
Way inside a target, that ball holds its line and strikes. But like Jason was saying, you get to the 4th ball, you're not winning anyway. So yeah, 3 maxed out, and 4th just because you want to get one of your staff or the company that you work for another ball on television.
I want to hear it, Rob. I want to hear it. I don't got to throw it good. Whatever.
It's calling me out like Pete Weber. Minus the crotch shot over there.
You know what I want to see, Rob? I want to see Keven Williams give you a ham bone sample so you can play on the show.
Oh.
An updated ham bone reference.
We'll work on that. We got a real good one going on here in match number 2.
Yep. Benji Martinez strikes out the 10th frame. He will force Keven Williams to get 2 strikes and 1 pin.
This is a tough shot to make. After the flat 10 pin on the left lane last time.
Oh, you think that was a flat 10? It's kind of a
Pretty scary.
half messenger, wasn't it?
Well, you look at where the 6 pin was laying, and that's the reference to the flat. He gets up right then. He asks politely, please carry. You can tell he's been brought up the right way. But that's a difficult shot. You know you have to strike. You know this has to strike. And to let it go like that, that's classy.
Big strike by the rookie. Can he keep it going here?
At least a 9 on this shot here to force Keven to get the first one.
That'll be 3 in a row.
Whoa. Well, that's the biggest break of the game for Benji Martinez.
Now, you're probably wondering why, when you look at the Specto data there, the ball tracker showed a very similar line, and why did the ball go a little bit lighter? And I can tell you that that's what makes bowling such a difficult game, is not only do you have to be accurate, have to throw the right speed, but the way you release the ball, the amount of rotation, the angle of which you put that rotation, is just as important as everything else. That was a big
Messenger! Oh, not enough. Not enough to drop the 10. So a 237 for Benji Martinez.
Hey, Randy, do you know what strike 9 spare gives us?
That gives us overtime. And that's why that shot was so big and why he wanted it so badly. And that takes a lot of pressure off of a player, knowing that now it's a strike 9 spare. It's a completely different mindset than when you need 2.
Yeah, strike 9 spare you can't lose.
Yeah.
2 strikes to win. It changes the perception, makes it a little easier.
Five in a row for Williams. 1 more and he moves on.
And that was his best shot of the game. That was absolutely pure off the release. Ball speed, check. Angle of entry, check. Execution, 100% check. Now he's just got to do it 1 more time.
Strike for the win. Left the 7. Keven.
My goodness. And you could see there by our strike track that was a great shot that he threw there, and it just pushes just a hair farther to the left, comes in behind the head pin just enough to leave that ringing 7-pin. And I mean, he loved it off his hand. That was a fraction from being 10 in the pit.
Now he must drop the 7 to force a 1-ball roll-off. Which he does.
Yeah, it was a good shot. It was a great shot. Given the circumstances, both these players non-winners.
Bonus bowling, Keven gets to pick the order and the lane.
Me first on the right lane.
He knows what he wants.
Yeah.
A man with conviction.
And I think this is advantage Keven Williams because he's locked in on that right lane.
Well, I think that Keven probably feels that the right lane is the better of the two lanes for him right now. He just came off it through 2 great shots, knows exactly what the ball is going to do. That's a huge advantage when you're playing a 1-ball roll-off.
Shematan. You don't deserve to strike on a shot like that, dude. Is this your first time bowling? Probably not. Looks like it. On the easy lane.
I don't think he liked that shot.
Nope.
Nope, not at all. Got it inside, went high.
I think he got it in. It was a lot slower than the previous frames as well.
So Martinez already with 1 win today. A strike, and it'll be 2, and he's off to the semis of the Southwest Regional Finals.
Please carry.
It did not carry. It only gave him 8. And Williams moves on.
Hey, let's bowl. Come on.
Didn't see that coming.
Go weak, man. Really
Fantastic
good bowling. Go
performance
weak.
by
Amazing
Benji
work.
Martinez. That one didn't quite get to that friction spot, Randy, down lane. He obviously made a move with his feet left, never saw the friction down lane. The ball sat in the oil, never had a chance to come back and hit the pocket.
Survive and advance. Keven Williams. Level at 237s after 10 frames. We went to a 1-ball roll-off. Williams didn't think 9 would be enough, but it would. Martinez with 8. Coming up next, we introduce you to your 2-seed, Packy Hanrahan, whose blue-collar approach to becoming a pro will impress you. We welcome you back to FS1's continuing coverage of the PBA Players Championship from Bolero Jupiter here in Florida.
He bowled collegiately at Wichita State and is a member of the 2015 National Championship team and has 3 career top 10 PBA Tour finishes. Packy Hanrahan.
Packy Hanrahan, part of the Mean Street Posse from Greenwich, Connecticut, where he grew up. His real name is Patrick. Dad's nickname was Packy, so he's just picked it up. And here comes the 2-handed lefty. Oh, that is beautiful. And the rise in this sport for this 25-year-old has really been phenomenal. We'll get more into that in a moment as he takes a seat. Opens up with a strike here at the Players Championship. The winner of this one to take on the 1 seed, Francois Lavoie. Keven Williams should do a rap about Francois Lavoie. Do you know anything that rhymes with Lavoie?
Caviar.
Matching strikes to start this one.
Do you want to know what's special about this match, boys? And correct me if I'm wrong, anyone watching or either of you two, but I believe this is the first time that 2 lefty 2-handers.
Randy, your mental Rolodex flipping right now, thinking.
Well, the first player that comes to mind is Jesper, but I'm not sure if he's ever bowled against another 2-handed lefty. Jesper Stenson?
I don't think so. So, as a 2-handed bowler myself, it's enjoyable to see the growth of 2-handed players, not just around the world, but even closer to me here on the PBA Tour. And these two players in particular, probably Packy more so, have truly grown leaps and bounds in the last 6 to 12 months.
Back-to-back opening jacks for Hanrahan, who really has not been involved in this sport very long. He told us he was too short to play basketball in high school, back at Greenwich High School, and his parents, sister said, you need to do something after school. So he joined the bowling team. It was a large team. It was basically just show up and have fun. He said his average freshman year, 110. So, I mean, that's really not that long ago. Won the state title his junior and senior year. But they were, none of these numbers were big, sexy numbers, yet he continued and took his game to Wichita State, where he essentially earned a roster spot. Now he's got a big challenge here in the third. Really needed that 10-pin to go down, and it did not.
Well, he's using two different balls and playing the right lane completely different from the left lane. Farther to the inside and curving it more on the right lane. On the left lane, he's trying to go straighter, and this time goes through the face, leaving the 4-7-10.
Took care of the 7. And now Packy will take a seat and think about that one. This guy's really inquisitive, really wants to learn about this sport. Constantly bugging players and coaches and pros for tips and insight. And then we shift back to Keven Williams. Looking for an opening 3-bagger here in the semis.
Come on, baby, come on.
A little karate kick down low on the 7.
That was a little Jackie Chan into the face of the 7-pin, man. That pin came flying across. Head pin, sidewall. Boom. Take that. A little blue 10 action.
He's starting to get comfortable, starting to get confident. And that's when Keven bowls his best.
You can hear the energy from him.
You know, Jason said something about confidence earlier in the telecast. I'm just not sure how you succeed without having any confidence. And he gained a lot of confidence after game 1, especially coming away with a win in the roll-off when he thought he was done. And now he's parlaying it into the first 4 here against Packy.
Packy, a walk-on at Wichita State, one of the great collegiate bowling powers in the United States. Made the JV team where he averaged 175 in tryouts. He said he was one of the worst on the JV team, but kept practicing, kept talking to the coach. Sophomore year, made a bit of a jump. Won the national title his sophomore year, but he really wasn't a big contributor to it. But he just loves this game. He loves the mental challenge. Loves the battle between the ears.
Well, Randy, he's gone and changed ball on the left lane now. He's going to play a little further to the right like he is on the right lane. See if it works.
Double wood.
Well, you can see the difference here in Specto. The last 2 shots thrown on that lane, that's a big jump. I mean, it's a good 7 boards to the right.
And he's just, all he's done there is just overcompensated for the move right. And it's one of the toughest things to do when you're playing in a very different zone 1 frame ago, is to guess correctly where to go next. And he'll make his adjustment.
Nice pickup.
It's obviously in a little further left of that. But those are the ones that you look back and you just go, if I had have just, instead of moving 5, I move 3, you can't obviously know exactly. But those are the ones, the frustrating moments where you just overcompensate.
Williams looking to drop the front 5, and he does. Oh, he's got a little swagger, a little strut to his game right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's a lot to be said for power. You throw some accuracy behind that, and you'll have success in this sport. But the two together is lethal. One without the other, not very good. He's got both going on right now.
Seven pins shy of a 6-pack.
I mean, he looked like he just aced that shot and got 9. It just goes to show you just how fractional this game is, right?
He also looked non-fazed by it.
Yeah, he's
as well.
No, he's real comfortable, and he's obviously he has a nice lead.
That always helps. Hammers home the 7-pin.
Good shot.
So a comfortable early lead for Williams. Will it be an all-Wichita State final today? Your 1 seed, Francois Lavoie, awaiting the win. We welcome you back to the PBA on FS1 and the on-lane graphics you see today, including the ball tracer, courtesy of Clutch Bowling. You've got Clutch Bowling, Belbo, at your home center?
Mate, I do. The boys came down to Oz, installed it. It is incredible. Absolutely. It transformed my training.
Let's take a look at your Strike Track game summary.
You can see the wider lines here by Packy when he started because he was playing a little bit different line. He made that big move towards the center part of the lane, but look at how close these numbers are with speed and rev rate. Very similar games in terms of that, and now Packy trying to get back on course with the big adjustment that he made after the split in the 3rd frame. You got to find a way to start putting some strikes together and hope that Keven Williams doesn't run away.
Yeah, I don't think he has an issue on this right lane. He's thrown 2 shots here. Both of them have been strikes, but that left lane has caused some big dramas.
There we go, Packy, a strike right there. And let's go down lane, Kimberly Pressler. And Kimberly, his mom, Abby, a big part of his professional career.
She absolutely was. So Packy told us pre-show that it was his mother, Abby, like you mentioned, who encouraged him to follow his dream of being a pro bowler. Now, he shared the story that his senior year at Wichita State, where he's getting a degree for physical education, that his mother sat him down and asked him, what do you really want to do for a living? And Packy said, if I could do anything, I want to join the PBA tour. So his mother made that happen, telling Packy that she would sponsor him financially for a year or 2 so he could do what he truly loves and go after his dreams.
That's great parenting, isn't it? Nice story, Kimberly. Thank you. Just missing the 7 right there. And he said, I'll know in about a year and a half how it's going. But the rise of this young man from essentially just joining high school bowling out of nothing because he had no other outlet to do, to where he is now on the PBA tour. Boy, you tack on a couple more years. Watch out.
He said he's been bowling for 10 years.
That's it, 10 years.
He's 25. Jason Belmonte started bowling when he was 3.
In a league.
In a league when he was 3. I think he probably owes himself a few more years. Not to mention the fact that he bowled just phenomenally in the league series when the Lumberjacks won again. And talking to manager Tim Mack, he said Packy was one of the most talented, versatile left-handers on tour.
His work ethic, I just love. Because we hear these stories week in, week out.
Hook a little.
Got the hook, got the result of asking these players. And we had a lot of them, guys, through the PBA Players Championship. But there was a lot of guys from our Final 25 who were like, I don't know much about this guy. I don't know much about this. And we kept asking them their background, how they got in bowling. And almost everyone was, Mom, Dad, bowled a league. 3 leagues a week. I would come to the bowling center. I grew up in a bowling center. My first job was in a bowling center. I joined a league at 3, 5, 7, 10, 11. And then you get a guy like Hanrahan who's like, I don't know, picked it up in high school.
Yeah,
here I am, I'm a pro. Williams can max out at a 2.79. And the 5, a 9 spare in the 6, strike in the 7. He'll go for another 9 spare here in the 8.
Gotta get a little steeper. So I actually...
Jason might know the answer to this question, but wasn't it Greg Norman who didn't start playing golf until he was like 20?
So tight.
18 or 20?
You know, I don't know the history.
He started real late, and I mean, Greg Norman had an amazing Hall of Fame career.
A great example. Tiger Woods didn't pick up a golf stick until he was 25.
Months old.
Wrong miss. Wrong lane.
Yeah, but no worries. 46-pin lead for Williams.
Again, the winner to take on your number 1 seed, Francois Lavoie, the Canadian who bowled collegiately at Wichita State with Hanrahan. Wow. Somersaulted over the 6-pin.
And that's how brutal this game can be, Rob. I mean, in a one-game match, you know, Keven started a little slow in his first game and then made an adjustment, made a move, survived a roll-off, now very comfortable, great shape. Packy comes out, throwing 2 different balls on either lane to start. Then he's made a big jump right. And all of these moves and essentially guesses that we make, we only have 5 shots on each lane, and if it's a little off, you're going to get punished for it, and it can be really, really brutal. So I feel for Packy right now, because I know that comparatively to how he's bowled this game to the potential that he has, it's certainly not quite there. But you know, he can make a few adjustments to his game, and I think that'll help smooth out the guesswork.
That was his 5th strike as he takes a seat. He can max out at 212. Look, when he started in high school, 212 was a dream. That's about 100 over his average.
Times have changed a little bit.
Hey,
Rob.
junior bowlers, want to start your journey as a pro? Head to PBA.com to sign up for the all-new PBA Junior Club. Join now for access to exclusive PBA content, discounted tournament entry, smart scholarship awards, official merchandise, so much more. Seemed a little quick, Randy?
Yeah, it looked like it was left location-wise. As you can see, it certainly was, but it was also really fast. That was a little reverse curve or backup ball he threw at the 3-pin.
Well, he's in position to do some experimenting right now.
Yeah, if there's ever a time to open a frame, it's when you only need 7 pins on the next shots, 2 shots to shut the match out. We'll see where this ball gets to the break point. The last time he didn't quite give it enough room. He mentioned not steep enough. That looks pretty steep there. Got that one a little further left.
You think?
Just a little further left.
I don't think you could go any further left.
You know, he'll want to make this spare just so he can get into some rhythm again for the next
confidence.
match.
Yep.
Last thing he wanted is back-to-back open frames heading into the final match.
Final match of the Southwest region. The winner of this region moves on. February's PBA Player Championship. Missed the head pin there. Keven Williams gets the win over Patrick Hanrahan. So your number 1 seed, Francois Lavoie, is up next. He's a 2-time U.S. Open champ, but in between those titles, there was a bit of a barren landscape. More of that next. Our 2021 PBA Players Championship coverage continues next weekend on FS1. It's a doubleheader from here at the Jupiter Bolero. Saturday, February 6th, 4 Eastern. It's the Central region. And then Sunday, February 7th at 2 Eastern, it's the East region final. Your 1 seed there. Our good friend Kyle Troop. Excited to see Kyle for the first time this season. Up next, though, we are set to determine the winner from the Southwest region. Up next, your 1 seed, Francois Lavoie.
He owns 4 career PBA Tour titles with 2 U.S. Open major victories. Francois Lavoie.
Was he going by Frankie last year or a few years ago? Because it's just too darn enjoyable to say Francois.
I don't want to answer that. I think outside of the center and his friends, his close friends, they all call him Frankie, and that kind of stuck. But I think we're going a little more formal every time he makes the show.
Francois with an opening strike.
What's funny is I have a buddy at home. His name is Fran. What do you think I call him?
Francois?
Of course.
Yeah. Duh.
There's that soft hand and that push through the front part of the lane. He's playing the lanes farther right than any player we've seen in 2 weeks.
And that's the Norm Duke approach. That's why I see the parallel between him and Norm.
Yeah, you brought that up at the top of the show. Williams up now, the 3 seed, won by 22 pins over Hanrahan. I want to get more on that Norm Duke conversation in just a moment, but here's Williams. You know, we were making light of his appearance here in the beginning. A rapper releasing songs. He's got his own YouTube channel. It was fun. It was enjoyable. We played the video. He made an impromptu rap about the show. But, guys, this is a serious bowler. And this guy is on the verge of a rather large payday if he can get through here and then later in February. And he's got back-to-back jacks to open up the final here of the Southwest region.
Well, I can guarantee you one thing, Rob. If he wins this match here against Francois and then goes on to win $250,000, his next music video...
It's going to be a lot better, huh?
It's going to be outrageous.
We're going to be in it. By the way, if we were in that music video that aired, Randy and I would still be in the pool. Guys, it's been a wrap for 5 weeks. Yeah, we're good. More pizza. More pizza to the pool, please. Extra pepperoni. You know I'm not joking, right? Lavoie here in the second. Back-to-back opening jacks for him as well. So let's go back to that Norm Duke parallel that you saw in the opening of the show.
Look, just watching the way that Francois is playing the lanes right now, he's using his strength, which is the touch at the bottom, the lower rev rate and the straighter launch angles through the front part of the lane to his advantage. He's moved away from where you can see all of that transition on the lane. And you'll see that transition because of that blue oil. You'll see the faded parts of that oil. So he's cleared himself of that and using it all to his strengths now. Another fun fact, the ball that he's using right now is the exact same ball that he shot 300 with in the playoffs not that long ago.
It's got your logo on it.
That one does. I wasn't brave enough to self-promote there, but that is the trend from Storm, a collaboration I did with them, and that's when Francois looks incredible, when he gets to do his A game and see that shape.
Maybe you can do a collaboration with Keven Williams next.
Drop a track? It depends. After we play basketball, we'll see how it goes.
Right, forgot about that. There's a good look, some self-promotion there for you, Belmo. In lieu of a paycheck from PBA and Fox, we're just going to keep showing that ball. Is that all right with you?
It's fine. Fine by me.
All right. So Williams is going to have to pick this one up here in the third.
I'm curious, Randy, do you think K-Will is going to see transition from Packy and himself bowling now as many games as they've both been on the lanes? Lefties typically don't get to see a lot of transition on television. It's not very often we see more than one on TV at any given time. So I'm wondering how much transition he's going to see. What do you think?
Well, I think he's going to create some on his own. There's a little bit created by Packy. I'm wondering what's happening with the left, right, and the laydown area in the front part of the lane crossing one another, if that's going to affect his shot at all. You know, when the left lefties get so deep to the right, and the right-handers have already been deep to the left, at some point, those lines have to cross.
Yeah, absolutely. And usually, as we can see right there on the graphic that you're about to draw a circle around, that is where you're going to see the most transition when both sides of the lane are hitting that. It's like the cross point.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can stay away from that, you're okay. But Kevin's playing right through the middle of that. Francois, on the other hand, he's a little further right, staying away from that cross path.
Fifth year on the tour, 27-year-old from Canadian. Messenger! Get down! Yeah! That'll work for that ham bone, Francois.
Huge break here. He's working on a three-bagger, and all of a sudden comes in just a pitch light. And watch this break as the head pin rolls over and nudges the 10 out.
The lead at 22 through 4. Francois just rolled through qualifying. Had the highest score of anybody in the 5 regions. 6,800 pins he dropped over the course of those 28 games on 4 different oil patterns. Of the 381 participants, he had the most pinfall. Get the 10 to go down this time.
What's amazing, and Jason's been talking about it, is how he can use his touch. And even though he got that ball a little bit inside of target, how it didn't go high. I mean, he's playing in a part of the lane that the big power players couldn't play anymore. They had to get farther left and deeper, and Francois can use his touch and push his ball right through that part of the lane.
He has a very unique release. If you really slowed it down and watched the release point as the ball is coming off his hand.
5% of the time that is missed on the tour, and that number is about to go up. Well. He was perfect through 4, and now an open frame 5th. He misses. Wasn't even close.
And guess what? Kevin Williams can take the lead with a strike here in the 5th.
Quite a response.
Well, there's nothing better than when your opponent opens a door like that. You're trying to hit the double and you bury it like that. It makes, whoever threw the open, it makes them feel just that little bit worse, going, oh, not only did I open the door, but now I've lost the lead completely.
So Williams looks to build on it, the 28-year-old from Springfield, Missouri. Didn't take bowling seriously until he was really about 21.
Be good. Lane, dude.
Yeah, that's never a good sign. Never a good sign. I went through it so much in my career where I thought I aced the shot and it doesn't strike, or it goes light. It goes. I mean, I get if it goes high, lanes are breaking down, and you have to move off of that. You miss transition. But when you ace a shot, you run it out a couple of steps left to right, and then it goes light. That's the head scratcher.
I think the hard thing, too, is when you look at the Specto ball tracker and you see that there's a variation to the shot, you're only talking about the size of your thumbnail between a ball. So even though it looks like there's change, it's only a thumbnail size.
We determine our second PBA Players Championship finalist next. Will it be Williams? Will it be Lavoie? One of these two to join Anthony Simonson in next month's final. The PBA on FS1 is sponsored by Guaranteed Rate. Mortgage rates are historically low. Save money at rate.com today. A look around beautiful Jupiter, Florida, which is where we are for our continuing coverage of the PBA Players Championship. Francois Lavoie was perfect through 4. He knows about perfect games on television.
In 2016, he became the only player to bowl a 300 game in a televised U.S. Open. And then here in 2020, using Jason's signature bowling ball and doing it on this very same oil pattern, the 39-foot Don Carter.
And this ball that he's actually throwing is the exact same one. It's not a different one that has been drilled new. This is the exact same ball. So he has some good history on this pattern using this ball. We'll see if he can bounce back after that open frame, that error in the 5th.
That's how you bounce back. That's how you bounce back.
Just take note there, Randy, of the breakpoint number 5.2. His best shots are going to be when that number has a 5 in the start. On the left lane, when you saw that 10 pin, it had just creeped a little further left, around about the 6.5 board. But when it hits that 5, it gets to the friction, creates the angle of entry, perfect into the pocket. We'll keep an eye on that.
4 tour titles to his credit, 2 of them majors, the 2016, the 2019 U.S. Open. Another strike there, but Randy, in between those U.S. Opens, he went into a dark room.
Yeah, he was like a black cat in a dark room looking for something that didn't exist. And, you know, we talked about it at the start of the telecast, you know, just trying to be somebody you're not. Bill O'Neill went through the same thing and struggled for a couple years trying to be someone he's not. And he went back to being Bill, and now he's number 2 in the world behind his tour roommate, Jason Belmonte. But, yeah, Francois made the same kind of move, went back to what he does best.
Woof. Two, 4, 7, 8.
Gives it right back to Lavoie, even with the conversion. Tough spare. Yeah.
Left it open.
Right back to Francois after the whiff 10 pin in the 5th by Lavoie, and now it's an open frame for Keven Williams.
Yeah, a frame to forget. First shot well inside a target, and then the spare shot, obviously never had a chance to spare that either.
And he has to forget it immediately. Steps up on the left, way left, curls in and drops them all.
Literally all you have
my.
to do is be steeper, and so you want to shove it up the lane.
Wow, that ball came back from Fort Pierce. It's north of us.
I got it.
Yeah.
Look at that right-hand turn.
I got to be honest with you. As soon as his ball hit the pocket, I turned around and looked right at Jason, and I mean, I was like, how did that get back to the pocket? Wow. Wow. You see the max scores? 267, 232. That's right and right.
Way right. Not even close to sniffing the pocket.
A good 2.5 to 3 inches right of where his optimal break point is. Remember, folks, break point, that number we're circling, that's where the bowling ball comes off the end of the oil pattern and starts to curve. It's about 39 feet down the lane. And that was well right.
Nice conversion. Really needed that.
But if you are a Keven Williams fan, you like to see that. Right now, anything other than a strike, and Keven can step up in the 9th and 10th and either force a roll-off for a strikeout from Francois or even win the match, depending on what Francois does this delivery. So anything less than a strike right now, I'm almost going to say puts Keven in the advantage, finishing first.
It's a great shot. It sets up the 10th frame.
The winner of this one to advance to the February 21st final of the PBA Players Championship. Live coverage on Fox. $250,000 to the winner, Anthony Simonson. The only finalist confirmed. Again, we got shows next Saturday and Sunday.
My prediction, this is either a strike or he's going to miss the head pin to the left. Nothing else.
Strike it is.
There's sometimes a fear, right, Randy? After you go high, you go back to that same spot, you overcorrect, you blow straight through it, and he has done that in today's telecast.
Yeah.
That there, though, once he let it go, you heard him say it, much better.
Yeah. The overcompensated shot after a bad one.
And that was aces right there.
Yep.
That's going to give himself a chance to slow the game down, put a lot of pressure on Francois, especially if he gets the next 3 strikes.
On the left lane, all strikes except for that 9 spare in the 6th frame for Williams.
If he gets all 3 in the 10th, he'll force Lavoie to double in the 10th frame.
Major strike.
Full rack attack, shreds all 10, and now he's put himself in a great spot. But again, 2 more strikes doesn't shut out Francois Lavoie.
No, and the mathematics of bowling make this next shot one of the most critical shots in terms of will Keven win this match. If he does not strike, then Francois only needs a spare and then good count, 9 or a strike to win the match. If he does strike, it forces Francois to get 2 strikes and at least 9 to tie. 2 strikes to win. Sorry.
Most pressure this young man has faced on a bowling lane ever.
Make him earn it. Come on. Do it when it matters. One more.
Well, remember the last shot on that lane?
One more good one.
When it came back from left field?
Make him earn it. Come on. Do it when it matters.
That one looked like it was just slightly inside, and it held pocket and kind of light pocket shredder. It looks like he's got a little bit of room on that lane.
Yeah, I think where he's throwing it right now is what he's aiming for. I think the one that went a little further left was his miss. So now he's going to want to take his time. He's going to want to make sure he gets every single pin right now. That's way in, and it held just enough. That was in.
Closes with 5 straight strikes. He takes a seat with a 232.
So here we go. Strike 9 spare. We have a roll-off. Double to win.
Keven Williams knows about roll-offs. Went through one earlier today with Benji Martinez. Won it 9-8.
If Francois does not strike on this ball, he loses.
And the last time he threw a ball on this lane, missed the head pin to the right.
Yeah, got 6.
It's not going to be an easy shot. Let's see what he can throw here. How about high flush? Randy?
Well, that wasn't bad.
That's clutch.
Yeah.
That is as clutch as it's going to get right now. Missing the head pin to the right the last time you're on that lane, and now you need that to potentially win, and it just buries the 8-9 like that. Needs to do it again. Need to repeat the exact same shot. At least a 9 to force the tie. Anything else, it's a loser.
For the win. No!
Just a fraction right of the last shot he threw on that lane, and it grabs some friction. You can see it right there. Grabs a little bit more friction, leaves a 4-pin.
Must drop this to force our second one-ball roll-off of the afternoon. Missed a single pin spare back in the 5th. Bonus bowling for a berth in the PBA Players Championship, the first event and the first major of this 2021 season. Lavoie will make the call.
He gets the choice of starting lane and position.
Okay. Well, it's going to be on the right lane, I'm telling you.
I'll go on the left lane, and I'll go first.
He's going on the left lane, going
On
first.
the left lane.
Yeah, that surprises me. That surprises me. Keven has had a lot more room for error, I feel, on that left lane. Maybe Frankie feels like he has more room as well. At the end of the day, I think when I'm in these positions, I go to my advantage, what I feel like my best chance is to get a strike rather than the defensive play. I was surprised because Francois threw some really good shots there and buried the pocket on the right lane.
One ball roll off. High number moves on.
That's why he chose the left lane, Randy.
Yeah, that's pretty good there. Yeah, he hadn't missed the pocket on that lane. He missed the 10-pin, but he hadn't missed the pocket on that left lane. Now, Keven Williams must match strike for strike, or his tournament is over.
Oh my, Williams is eliminated. Francois Lavoie moves on.
Hard to believe with that much power he'd leave a weak 7, but that's exactly what happened.
That match had everything.
Yeah, great match. Keven Williams has a lot to be proud of. But watch this, man. Never got the 4 to bounce out of the pit to clip that 7-pin. Francois Lavoie will be representing the Southwest region.
Second straight week, a 1 seed has moved on to the finals of the PBA Player Championship. Simonson did it last weekend. Lavoie doing it today. All leading up to the PBA Players Championship finals coming your way live on Fox February 21st. The young Norm Duke getting the win and moving on. Our 2021 PBA Players Championship coverage continues next weekend on FS1. Saturday, February 6th, 4 Eastern. It's the Central Region, your number 1 seed. Smalls, Tom Smallwood in action. The big, nasty Wes Malott lurking there as a 4 seed. And then on Sunday, February 7th, 2 Eastern, the East Regional Final. Kyle Troop, your 1 seed. Tom Foy Jr. sliding in for the ill Bill O'Neill. More on that next Sunday, 2 Eastern on FS1. Keven Williams able to survive 1 roll-off, couldn't make it through 2. The 1 seed, Francois Lavoie, enough to move on as he books his ticket back to Jupiter for February's finals of the PBA Players Championship. Randy Peterson, Kimberly Pressler, Jason Belmonte, and our entire crew. I'm Rob Stone. This has been the PBA on FS1. We'll see you again next Saturday and Sunday.